Hey everyone, it's Kieran. Given that it's LGBTQIA plus month, I thought it'd be interesting if I talked about my asexuality. I know it's sort of late into the month, and I have been thinking about talking about this stuff for a little while, but for this month anyway. But I never really knew what to say because there's sort of a lot. I didn't want what I want to say to be jumbled up, and I thought about just writing stuff down. But I think it's better if I just talk about it off my head because it's more personal anyway. So let's talk about it. So if you all didn't know already, I'm asexual. I've been asexual for a little under 2 years. To be honest, I never really had a coming out sort of thing. People accidentally figured out that I was asexual, so that was sort of difficult to adapt to. People finding out rather than me having my own coming out sort of thing. It's sort of like a pressured thing because suddenly people know a very secretive thing about you, and you barely know yourself. You don't have time to figure out. So that was sort of a tough pill to swallow. Eventually, I got over that, but in the immediate short term of that time period, it was a very difficult thing for me to get through, to be honest. Anyway, what is asexuality? I hear you ask, but nobody. Asexuality is basically when you don't really have a sexual attraction to anyone, but it's more like a spectrum, if that makes sense, and that everybody that's asexual or aromantic is different depending on levels. Some people might be somewhat attracted to someone sexually, others might not. I'm someone that isn't, if that makes sense. Something that's always difficult with asexuality is that many people just think it's sort of childish that you're asexual. Oh no, you're not gonna have sex, ugh. But that's just my preference. And some people don't even think asexuality is a thing. They sort of just block it out like any other minority in the LGBTQIA plus community. Gay is not a thing, lesbian's not a thing, asexuality is not a thing. The thing that's more difficult with asexuality is though most people don't even know what it is. How I didn't even know until I was figuring it out for myself 2 years ago. So most people don't know about it. So when you tell someone, or when you try and present yourself as that, most people don't really perceive it that well, so it's sort of something to adjust to when you're asexual. A common misconception with asexuality is that you're not attracted to people, period. No, there's two types. Asexuality is when you're not attracted to someone sexually, and aromantic is when you're not attracted to someone personally. To be honest, I thought I was aromantic as well, but when figuring stuff out, I believe I'm just asexual. But that's still something I'm figuring out at the minute. To me, accepting my asexual identity was one of the best things I ever did. It helped me with my mental health a lot, and whilst I'm still figuring out my overall sexual identity a lot still, it's a long journey and I'm still a part of it. I reckon that it's helped me in the long term, and I feel more like myself because of it. Hell, it's helped me become a lot more confident in other things, for instance my pronouns, in which I identify as he, they. That's another topic many people believe is just set in stone, but I don't care. I feel like I'm he, they, and that's how I want to identify myself, and I'm proud that I can be confident about that. As well, even smaller stuff like cross-dressing, I'm proud to be able to do that and walk outside cross-dressing. I think that's something I never would have done 2 years ago, but because I've been able to accept my queer identity, I can do stuff like that now. To be honest, probably the most difficult thing about being asexual for me is that I know nobody else that is asexual. I'm the only person out of my friend group, or even anybody in my town, I think, that is asexual. So it's sort of lonely at times, but whoever's watching this and is asexual, I hope you find solace in hearing about my perspective, and hopefully others out there, even just queer, they found that my perspective in general was intriguing to listen to nonetheless. Sorry if I was rambling on by the end there. I just wanted to talk about my asexuality in a personal way, and I was glad I was able to by the end there. Thanks to anyone I was actually watching for the full length of time. I know that was difficult, me rambling of course, but I appreciate it nonetheless. And thanks for watching in general.